You know that feeling, right? When an audit is just looming.
Oh, yeah. Like this big wave about to crash.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And you're scrambling, trying to find everything. If that sounds familiar, well, you're definitely in the right place today.
Mm-hmm.
We're going deep on how to change that feeling, how to turn that overwhelm into confident control.
And it really comes down to two things: organized processes and solid action plans. That's the magic formula.
Pulling insights straight from episode 3 of Beyond Compliance, season 1.
Yeah, and some briefing docs that really help break it down.
So think of this as your, insider's guide. We want to help you not just get through audits,
but actually thrive during them. Doesn't matter if it's a follow-up, compliance, or getting certified.
Our mission today: distill the key stuff, make GRC feel, less daunting, more manageable.
Let's make it happen.
All right, let's unpack this. First off, the material makes it super clear there isn't just one kind of audit.
No, definitely not. Understanding the differences, like step 1.
So what are we looking at?
Well, basically 3 main types come up again and again. First, there's the follow-up audit.
Okay, follow-up. Sounds straightforward.
It mostly is, but it's really important. Jordan, in that Beyond Compliance intro, put it like this: these occur after an initial audit identifies gaps or areas for improvement.
Right.
The purpose is to verify that corrective actions have been implemented effectively. So it's proof you fixed the problem.
Gotcha. It's showing you actually listened and did the work. Okay, what's next?
Then you've got compliance audits.
Right.
And these carry some serious weight.
The ones everyone worries about.
Pretty much, yeah. They're all about making sure you're following the rules. Think GDPR, APA, PCI DSS, those big ones.
Right, the regulations.
Exactly. And Alex in the briefing docs didn't mince words. These ensure that your organization adheres to regulatory guidelines.
Okay.
Non-compliance can lead to hefty fines, legal trouble, and reputational damage, so these audits are non-negotiable.
Oof. Non-negotiable. That says it all. Hefty fines, legal trouble.
Yeah.
You really don't want to mess those up.
It's like running a red light for your business, basically. Not worth the risk.
Makes sense. So that's follow-up and compliance. What's the third type?
Certification audits. These feel a bit different, maybe more
Proactive.
proactive. Yeah, like you're aiming for something, not just avoiding trouble.
Exactly. You're going for a specific standard, like ISO 2701 for information security or SOC 2.
Okay.
Jordan pointed out, these are more rigorous and focus on validating that your organization meets specific standards.
More rigorous, okay.
Passing these audits not only demonstrates credibility, but also opens doors to new business opportunities.
So it's like a badge of honor. Shows you're serious, helps win business.
Precisely. It builds trust.
So, okay, follow-up, compliance, certification, different goals, different stakes. But is there something they all need?
Yes, absolutely. And this is where episode 3 really digs in. The common thread, no matter the audit type.
What is it?
Meticulous planning and execution.
Yeah.
You can't wing it. Right. Hoping for the best isn't a strategy here. Which brings us nicely to the how. How do you actually, nail these audits?
It starts with something that sounds almost too simple.
What's that?
Just being organized. Incredibly organized.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense, but why is it such a game changer for audits specifically?
Well, think about the opposite. Picture walking into that audit meeting
Huh?
and someone asks, where's the policy for X? Or who signed off on Y? And you're just blank, shuffling papers.
Yeah, that's a nightmare scenario.
Totally. Jordan said it perfectly in the episode. Imagine walking into an audit meeting without knowing where your documentation is stored, who's responsible for what, or whether corrective actions have been completed. It's a recipe for disaster.
Recipe for disaster.
Yep.
Stressful, looks bad, definitely impacts the outcome.
For sure. It's like trying to find that needle in a haystack, but the haystack is like your entire company's operations.
So how do we avoid the haystack situation? What does being truly organized for an audit look like?
Okay, so the sources highlight a few key things. First, it starts way before the audit, long before.
Right, preparation.
Yeah, Alex emphasized being organized starts long before the audit itself. It begins with understanding the scope of the audit. You got to know exactly what they're looking at.
Makes sense. Know the playing field.
Then identifying key stakeholders. Who needs to be involved? Who owns which process? Who needs to talk to the auditors?
Okay, scope, stakeholders.
Yeah.
What about all the stuff, the documents, the evidence.
Ah, yes. Crucial point.
Yeah.
Creating a centralized repository for all relevant documents.
Centralized repository, like one single place.
Exactly. No more hunting through emails or random folders. It
Yeah.
could be a shared drive, sure, or a project management tool.
Or something more specialized.
Yeah, Alex mentioned Governify, which is the kind of platform designed to streamline this, keep everything tidy and accessible. Makes a huge difference.
I can imagine, instead of searching, you're just presenting. So scope, stakeholders, central documents, anything else for organization.
There's a big mindset shift involved, too. Jordan brought this up in episode 3.
Oh,
One of the biggest mistakes organizations make is treating audits as one-off events.
right, like cramming for a test.
Exactly. Instead, he says, audits should be seen as part of an ongoing process. It's about continuous readiness, keeping records updated all the time.
That makes so much sense. It changes it from this big, scary event to just checking in on how things are running normally.
Precisely. It becomes less of a disruption.
Okay, ongoing process mindset. What's the final piece of the organization puzzle?
It really boils down to clarity, clear roles and clear communication.
Okay.
Alex put it simply. Everyone involved in the audit process needs to know their tasks, deadlines, and how their work contributes to the bigger picture. Clear communication is essential.
No confusion, everyone pulling in the same direction.
You got it.
Yep.
Minimizes errors, keeps things on track.
So think about this for a second, maybe for our listeners too. Can you think of a time when just not being organized made something way harder than it needed to be?
Oh, definitely. We've all been there.
Now imagine that, but the stakes are a critical business audit. Yikes. It really shows why getting organized is job number one.
Absolutely foundational.
Okay, so you've got your ducks in a row, you're organized. What's next? How do you actually tackle the audit requirements or fix the findings?
That's where action plans come in. Organization sets the stage. The action plan is the script.
The script? Okay, I like that. It tells you what to do.
Pretty much, it's your roadmap. Jordan, again from episode 3, described it as a roadmap that outlines the steps needed to address findings from a previous audit or prepare for an upcoming one.
A roadmap, okay.
And he added, without a detailed plan, it's easy to lose track of priorities and miss critical deadlines.
Yeah, you can feel busy, but not actually get the important stuff done. Lost without that map.
Exactly, you need direction.
So what makes a good action plan? What are the essential ingredients?
Well, the sources, especially episode 3, break it down nicely. First up, clarity again.
Clarity on what?
On the problem or the goal. As Alex said, it clearly defines the issues or objectives. You can't just say, improve security.
Too vague.
Way too vague. If, say, a follow-up audit needs proof a vulnerability was patched, the plan needs specifics.
Like what?
Like who will handle the patching, when it will be done, and how it will be verified.
Yeah.
Super specific. No room for guessing.
Right. Turns fix it into concrete steps. Okay. Clear objective. What else?
Measurable goals and timelines. This was Jordan's point.
Measurable and time-bound. SMART goals territory.
Basically, yeah. He said, saying we'll fix the problem soon isn't enough, needs to be concrete. Like
Thank you.
patch applied by X date or documentation submitted by Y date. This ensures accountability and progress tracking. Deadlines matter.
Absolutely. Creates urgency. Lets you see if you're on track. Okay. Clear objectives. Measurable timelines. What's third?
Resource allocation. Can't forget the resource.
Meaning people, tools, money.
Exactly. Alex pointed out this includes assigning team members with the right skills, securing necessary tools or software, and budgeting for any costs. Got to make sure you actually can do what the plan says.
Makes perfect sense. Set the team up to succeed. Okay. One more element.
Yes, and it's crucial for keeping things moving. Regular check-ins.
Just touching base periodically.
Yep. Jordan really stressed this. Don't underestimate the value of regular check-ins. Schedule meetings, review progress, tackle roadblocks.
And adjust if needed.
Exactly. Flexibility is important, but so is staying on course. You need that balance.
Okay, this is all great in theory. Organization, action plans. But let's make this tangible. Episode 3 must have had some real stories, right? Examples of this working.
Oh, for sure. The briefing materials hint at a couple of really good ones that were likely covered. One was an e-commerce company.
Okay, what happened with them?
They had this nagging data encryption issue found in a previous audit, and they were struggling with the follow-up. But then they put a proper action plan in place. Maybe used a tool like Governify, the source suggests. They broke down the fix into clear tasks.
Assigned owners. Set deadlines.
Exactly. Task breakdown, ownership, deadlines, the whole package. And the result?
they passed.
They nailed the follow-up audit. Problem solved. Structure made the difference.
Wow. That's a great example. Taking
Yeah.
something complex and just structuring the solution. Any others?
Yeah, another one involved a healthcare provider. Big compliance pressure there, right?
Mm-hmm.
HIPAA.
HIPAA is huge in healthcare.
So they were facing a HIPAA audit. Instead of panicking, they got proactive, organized all their documentation policies, training records, everything.
Like got their house in order first.
Yep. And then developed an action plan to make sure all the controls were demonstrably in place before the auditors arrived.
Smart. Avoided potential problems.
Exactly. Avoided potentially massive penalties, showed they were on top of it.
These stories really drive it home, don't they? As Jordan likely said, these stories highlight the transformative power of organization and action plans.
Right. It shifts the perspective. When done right, they turn audits from stressful obstacles into opportunities for growth and improvement.
From obstacles to opportunities.
Yeah.
I like that. It makes you think, doesn't it? For our listeners, what kind of aha moment do these examples spark for you? How could you apply this to your next big project or audit?
It's a good prompt for reflection. Okay, so let's bring it right back to the listener. How can you, listening right now, put this into practice? What are the key takeaways?
Okay, let's summarize the toolkit. Based on everything from episode 3, the briefings. Number 1, centralize your documentation. Find a system, maybe Governify Y, maybe something else, but get it in one place.
Crucial. What's next?
Assign clear ownership. Every task, every control needs a name next to it. No ambiguity.
Accountability. Got it.
Third, realistic deadlines. Set them, respect them, keep things moving.
Keeps the pressure on in a good way.
Fourth, communication. Keep talking. Regular updates. Make sure everyone's looped in.
Can't overstate that one. Silos kill progress.
And finally, review and adapt. Check progress regularly. Don't be afraid to adjust the plan if roadblocks pop up. Stay flexible, but focused.
Excellent summary. Centralize, assign ownership, set deadlines, communicate, review, and adapt. That's the core playbook.
So wrapping up our deep dive on this, it really feels like the main message from episode 3 is bigger than just audits, right?
Absolutely. Organization and action plans. They're not just audit tools, they're fundamental. They build accountability, transparency.
A culture of continuous improvement, really.
Exactly that. It strengthens the whole organization.
And speaking of strengthening your organization, looking ahead to our next deep dive, we're tackling something super important. Incident response plans.
Ooh, that's a timely one. Data breaches, system outages, they happen.
Right. You need a plan for when things go wrong unexpectedly. So tune in next time for practical steps on building a robust incident response plan. It's essential protection.
Definitely don't want to miss that. And remember, you can find more info, more resources on everything we discussed today over at our website, whitehatsl.com.
That's whitehatsl.com. And hey, we'd love to connect. Find us on social media.
Yep, we're on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Come say hi.
And if you're serious about boosting your skills in this area, check out the White Hat Academy.
We've got some really super courses there designed to give you the knowledge you need.
Definitely worth a look.
Mm.
Okay, final thought to leave everyone with.
Think about just one area right now in your workflow. Where could better organization and a clear action plan make a real difference?
Good question.
And then ask yourself, what's the very first, maybe small step you can take today to start making that happen?
Just that first step. That's often the hardest part, but the most important. Something to think about.